Artificial intelligence, or AI, is not magic or a brain in a box. Instead, it's a type of software that finds patterns in data and uses those patterns to make decisions or predictions. Unlike traditional programming, where every rule is written by a human, AI learns from examples. Think of it like teaching a child to recognize dogs by showing them thousands of photos labeled dog or not dog. Over time, the child learns to spot dogs, even breeds they've never seen before. AI works the same way, learning patterns from data rather than following explicit instructions. Understand why AI is different. Let's compare it to traditional programming. In a calculator app, for example, a programmer writes out every rule. If you press plus, the program adds two numbers. But for complex tasks like telling a cat from a dog in a photo, there are too many variations for handwritten rules. Instead, machine learning flips the process. You provide data and answers first, and the system figures out its own internal rules during training. This internal rulebook is called a model, and it's what powers modern AI. The heart of most modern AI is a simple mathematical unit called a neuron, inspired by brain cells. The neuron receives several numbers as input, multiplies each by weight, which shows how important that input is, adds them up, and passes the result through a function to decide how strongly it fires. Alone, a single neuron can't do much, but when you connect thousands or millions of them together, you get a neural network capable of finding complex patterns in data. Neural network is simply a collection of neurons arranged in layers. The input layer receives raw data like pixels from a photo or words from a sentence. Hidden layers, which can be many, are where the real pattern finding happens. The output layer produces the final answer, such as the probability that an image contains a cat. Each connection between neurons has its own weight, and in large models there can be billions of these connections. The real power of AI comes from all these neurons working together. When a neural network is first built, its weights are random, so it guesses randomly. Training is the process that turns those guesses into useful predictions. The network makes a guess, compares it to the correct answer using a loss function, and then adjusts its weights slightly to reduce the error. This process repeats millions of times, gradually improving the network's accuracy. It's like learning to shoot basketball free throws blindfolded, making small corrections after each shot until you get it right. Not all AI training is the same. There are three main types: supervised learning, where the model trains on labeled examples; unsupervised learning, where the model finds structure in data without labels; and reinforcement learning, where the model learns by taking actions and receiving rewards or penalties. Each type is suited to different kinds of problems, from classifying images to clustering customers or training game-playing agents. Tools like ChatGPT and Claude are built on a special kind of neural network called a transformer. These models are trained on a simple but massive task: predicting the next word in a sentence. First, text is broken into tokens, which are turned into numbers called embeddings. The model then uses a technique called self-attention to figure out which words matter most for understanding the sentence. Finally, it predicts the next word, one at a time, until the response is complete. Self-attention is the key trick behind transformers. For every word, the model calculates how much every other word in the sentence matters for understanding it. For example, in the sentence, "The trophy didn't fit in the suitcase because it was too big." Self-attention helps the model realize that it refers to trophy, not suitcase. This ability to focus on the right parts of the input is what makes large language models so powerful at understanding context. It's important to know that large language models don't have a separate database of facts. Everything they know is compressed into their weights during training. This means they can sometimes produce text that sounds confident but is actually incorrect. This phenomenon is called hallucination. The model is not retrieving facts but predicting what comes next based on patterns it has seen before. Let's walk through what happens when you ask an AI a question like "explain photosynthesis simply." First, your sentence is split into tokens and converted into numbers. These numbers flow through many layers of the network, refining the model's understanding. The model predicts the first word of the answer, then repeats the process for each new word, streaming the response to your screen in real time. The process stops when the model predicts a special end token. Once a model is trained, its weights are frozen. When you use an AI app, you're not training it further, you're just running the finished model to make predictions. This process is called inference. Training is resource-intensive and happens behind the scenes, but inference is fast and happens every time you interact with an AI tool. AI is powerful, but it's not perfect. It can hallucinate, producing plausible but incorrect information. It can also absorb and repeat biases present in its training data. AI doesn't truly understand meaning the way humans do, and small unusual changes to input can sometimes cause it to make wildly wrong predictions. These limitations come from the fact that AI is a pattern matching system, not a reasoning mind. At its core, AI is a pattern matching system. It excels at finding structure in huge amounts of data, but it doesn't reason or have lived experience like humans. Its strengths and weaknesses both come from this root. It can spot patterns at a scale no human could, but it can't truly understand or verify facts. Sum up, AI learns patterns from data, not from handwritten rules. Neurons stack into networks, and training tunes their weights through millions of small adjustments. When you use an AI app, you're running a finished model that predicts one word at a time, guided by attention mechanisms. It's all statistics, not certainty, so always double-check important facts. Modern AI turns the old idea of learning from examples into something that operates at an unprecedented scale. Billions of adjustable numbers are refined over millions of examples until a useful pattern emerges. This scale is what makes AI so powerful, and also why it requires massive computing resources to train. As AI continues to evolve, understanding these basics helps you see both its potential and its limits.